Hi everyone, it's Katie from Chords Records. The Grammy nominations were announced and sort of in the last 24 hours, and I just wanted to go through half a dozen, no, probably a baker's dozen, probably about 13 artists, which I absolutely love, all of which got nominated. I'm going to go through some of those artists and what categories they got nominated in. I thought it might be quite fun to see some interesting artists that I like that were nominated this year, some totally expected and some a little bit unexpected. I absolutely love the Grammys. When I was a teenager or, early to mid-teens, I used to tape the Grammys on a cassette player in front of the television, just the audio. I would record every single award show, but the Grammys were my absolute favourite. And I've got all these cassette tapes from that era of when I recorded the Grammys. Absolutely love them and still love them to this day, even though they're a little bit controversial. You know, they haven't quite got things right in the last 10 or 20 years. They're trying to fix it, but for me, I just love it. So I think they've done a pretty good job this year. The first artist I want to mention is, and these are albums which a lot of these I haven't shown on my channel just because they're just everyday albums that I buy. I don't talk about everything I get. But this is Sabrina Carpenter, obviously the absolute pop sensation with her album Man's Best Friend. This got nominated for, a heap of awards, at least 5, including Record of the Year, which is kind of the big award, Album of the Year, Song of the Year for Man-Child, Best Solo Performance and Best Pop Vocal Album. I want to talk about this particular vinyl edition because it is mainly a vinyl channel. This is really fun. This was a limited edition and you probably can't see it, but it's a fur. It's kind of got this soft fur kind of cover, and this is metal, or kind of a mock metal, and this is kind of a layered collar. So the whole thing was kind of this 3D special cover. And the whole thing, this is kind of like a doll mat, but this is fur. It's absolutely beautiful. And then the rest of it is just the gatefold of her. So it's just a really fun edition to get of her fantastic Man's Best Friend. And the song that is nominated from the album in a bunch of categories is Man-Child. And when it came out, I got the kind of see-through single. Really, it's a pretty perfect pop song. So that's Sabrina Carpenter. The next one is Billie Eilish and Phineas for their album Hit Me Hard and Soft on Eco Vinyl. Doesn't sound great. She did release a 1-year anniversary of it on that people say does sound a bit better. Unfortunately, it didn't sound great. But digitally, if you can get a high-res version of it, the album is amazing. And it got nominated for a couple of I'll just show you the beautiful Eco Vinyl. The colour's gorgeous. It's kind of like a turquoise, dark turquoise. The song Wildflower was the one that was nominated mainly for Phineas as producer, Record of the Year again, the first category, and Song of the Year. So that song is absolutely stunning if you know it. So that's off that album. Okay, the next one is Chappell Roan, the absolutely incredibly beautiful single that she released this year outside of an album release called The Subway. This is, to me, a perfect pop song. It's on this beautiful kind of orange, it's kind of like an orange gold single vinyl colour. And contrary to what people think about gold vinyl, this actually sounds brilliant. It's brilliant audio, brilliant mastering. So 45 RPM, 7-inch. The song is a brilliant pop song written by her, but the actual awards that she was nominated for overnight were Record of the Year. So it was produced by Daniel Nigro, which is who produced her Princess album, and has produced Olivia Rodrigo and a whole bunch of people. So that's kind of like a producer master engineer award, the Record of the Year. But the other award that she's been nominated for is vocal, best pop vocal. And when you listen to this album, this song, this track has got the best vocals, and towards the end it gets into that angelic kind of just beautiful kind of repetitive lyric. It's such a great song. Absolutely love it. Right, so this is kind of all the pop categories, and the next one I want to talk about is Blake Mills as a producer. He is an extraordinary guitarist and producer. I most recently talked about him. When did I talk about him? Oh, in the last video was the new Brandi Carlile album, Returning to Myself. He performs on the Joni track. He was instrumental in the Joni jams. But he's been nominated for Producer of the Year for several albums, two of which I want to show you. One of which is the Lucy Dacus beautiful, beautiful album called Forever is a Feeling. This is the kind of limited edition foil. You can kind of see the foil version. Absolutely stunning album. He was a producer on this, and the other album that he was a producer on, which is a contender for my top 10 of the year, is Perfume Genius Glory. This beautiful album by this really quite a stunning artist. I'll just try and get it out of its record. Just absolutely love the cover. If you haven't heard this album, it is really interesting. And yeah, so there's all sorts of little things going on in this picture. I've heard Perfume Genius interviewed, and there's all these little kind of Easter eggs going on in this scene on the cover of the album. So that's been nominated for Blake Mills as producer. And the two other albums for Blake Mills, which I haven't got yet, or actually I did have Japanese Breakfast. I did sell it. I moved that one on. It wasn't my favorite album. So that was Japanese Breakfast. And then the other one is his own album with That Wasn't a Dream with Paul Palladino, I think it was. So that was like a dual instrumental album. So that's Blake Mills as producer. The next artist, you won't be surprised, Brandi Carlile has received 2 nominations. Brandi, Elton, Andrew Watt received a nomination for Best Traditional Pop Vocal Album, which is such a strange category for this album, Who Believes in Angels, and another kind of foil cover there. So that was for Andrew Watt, Brandi Carlile, Elton John. And they also received a nod for the single Never Too Late, which is on that album, but it's actually the single from the movie, which is what this is, from Elton John's Never Too Late kind of biopic, if you like, of that sort of Rocket Man 1974 era. First 4 or 5 years of the 70s, and the end credits of this song written by Brandi Carlile, Elton John, Bernie Taupin, and produced by Andrew Watt. So that has been nominated for Best Song Written for Visual Media, another interesting category, but fantastic. It's a fantastic song, so good luck to them. All right. Now we get into kind of the rock area, and I was thrilled when Haim received a nod. Best rock album. I was kind of surprised. I thought it was more pop, but this is Best Rock Album for I Quit. A really great album. I got the signed kind of extra sleeve. It was a bit different from an art card because it's kind of got that sort of weird, it's a weird kind of slip-on cover, which actually doesn't fit the album, and so it comes separately, which is super stupid. But double album, 45 RPM, really fantastic. Rock album, nominated for Best Rock Album, so congratulations to those girls, those sisters. Right, now we get into the alternative category and folk category, and then the Americana category, which is really my sweet spot. I do love the pop stuff, and, you know, I think people like Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Lady Gaga, who I haven't got Mayhem yet. We are seeing her next year in concert. I'm waiting for that. But alternative. So the first artist I want to talk about that's received a couple of Grammy nods is this amazing, incredible album, Moisturizer, by the artist Wet Leg, and it deserves it. So it's received Best Alternative Music Performance, it's received Best Alternative Music Album, and really importantly, because look at that cover, it's received a nomination for Best Album Cover. Like, creepy as, like, really creepy, a bit weird, but fantastic. So that's for Moisturizer. And the artist is Wet Leg. The other alternative music album nomination was by The Cure's The Lost World. Is it The Lost Sad? What's the album called? I've actually forgotten. Songs of a Lost World. This is my Heat one that you can put your handprint on and responds to heat. And I think it might even be glow in the dark. Can't quite remember. But what a great album. And I'm so happy that it got nominated for Best Alternative Album. Right, and now we get into the Americana, Country and Roots categories. Probably my favourite categories of all, and probably where the best music for me hangs out in. So Best Traditional Country Album, Lucas Nelson got a nomination for this wonderful, wonderful album. Signed, you can see there, for American Romance. Another cover that I absolutely love. It's such a classic scene, isn't it? I mean, and hyper real. It's a hyper realistic scene. Really great. And look at him, isn't he gorgeous? Just absolutely love him. The Gatefold. Again, one of my favourite albums of the year. Stay tuned for that. I'm going to be doing a top 10 or 15 albums of the year in the next little while. So that was nominated for Best Traditional Country Album. And then we move along to the Roots category. And this wonderful artist, Jon Batiste, I've got all his albums. I'm a completist with this man. He is, in my opinion, we're lucky to be living in the time of him. He's an absolutely, he's a genius in my opinion. And this wonderful album called Big Money, if you haven't streamed it, please do. It is just happiness and joy on wax. It is so incredible. So he's been nominated for 3 categories from this album. From the Best American Roots Performance, for the wonderful track on here called the cover of Lonely Avenue, and it's a duet between Jon Batiste and Randy Newman, and it's just swinging. It is just such a great cover. So that's the Best American Roots Performance. And then the other couple of categories he's been nominated in are Best American Roots Song for the song Big Money, which is just like, it feels like New Orleans on a track. And then strangely we move over to Best Americana Album he's been nominated for this album, Big Money. So 3 nominations. Congratulations to Jon Batiste. And then possibly my favourite album of the year, not sure, there's 2 or 3 other contenders. Jason Isbell, Foxes in the Snow, has been nominated. Thank God, it deserves it. It's been nominated for Best Folk Album. Really happy. It is an exquisite album, but also Best Folk Album. in the same category is one I just showed very recently, and is another beautiful, beautiful album by Patty Griffin, a wonderful artist, and this beautiful cover shot of her mum in her wedding attire. It's a very sad album. It's a poignant album, and it's been nominated for Best Folk Album along with Jason Isbell's Foxes in the Snow. So one more, finally, the interesting category of Best Historical Album, and this normally, the nominations in this are normally and are always kind of looking back at a historical recording that has been released in an archival version, and I'm thrilled to see that one of Joni Mitchell's incredible Joni Mitchell Archive series box sets has been nominated again for Best Historical Album, and it's this one, which is the Joni Mitchell Archive series number 4, the Asylum albums 1976 to 1980. And just to remind you what those albums are, we're talking Shadows and Light, Mingus, Hajira, Don Juan's Reckless Daughter. So it's that beautiful kind of jazzy era, sort of when she's really moving into her fretless bass of Jaco Pastorius. And she toured, and actually the Shadows and Light album is this wonderful live album that she released. Oh, so wonderful. And this was actually mastered by Bernie Grundman, and it is honestly just stunning. And on it we've got people like Jaco Pastorius and Pat Metheny, as well as a bunch of other people. So that's it. That's my little wrap up of my favourite albums from the Grammy nominations. I do have one honourable mention, which I don't have yet, and who we absolutely love in this household, and we are seeing him in Sydney next year, and that's Jesse Wells. An incredible, the real deal, authentic storyteller on the right side of history, a beautiful folk storyteller, and he has been nominated in a few categories in that kind of folky Americana genre. So really thrilled for him. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye.